next group, Kat, Brittany, and Alisia.
Well, folks, as you all know, today we have our group speeches. But before we continue on, I thought it would be a great idea for us to have a guest speaker. So please stand up. Don't be shy. Stand up. Help me give a warm, wonderful round of applause to our guest speaker, Sojourner Truth.
How you doing, baby? Hi, sweetie. How you doing, sir?
Wonderful.
How you doing, sir? How you doing? Well, children, there's so much racket out there. Must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes in the South and the women at the North all talking about rights. The white man will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped in the carriages and over ditches. And they should have the best place everywhere. Ain't nobody ever helped me in the carriages or over mud puddles or given me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. I have plowed and I have born into ditches. And no man could head me. I can eat as much and work as much as a man when I could get it. And they're the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have born 13 chitlins and have seen most of them sold off to slavery. And when I cried for my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's that called?
Intellect.
There it is, sugar. That's what they call it. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup ain't but a half pint full and yours is a quart, wouldn't that be awful mean of you not to give me my half cup full? Then that little man over there in the black, yeah, that one right there. He says women can't have as much rights as men because Christ won a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man ain't had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women that's gathered here today should be able to turn this world right side up. And now they is asking us to do it. And they better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me. And as old Sojourner Truth says, I ain't got nothing else to say.
During Isabella Van Wagner's personal transformation into Sojourner Truth, she became a fighter for justice for enslaved African Americans and women in America in the 1850s until her death in 1883. Today, we are going to talk about this incredible woman, Sojourner Truth. First off, we will tell you the reason why we chose her. Secondly, we will tell you the significance of her speech. Third, we will apply communication concepts. And lastly, we will tell you her inspiration on us. With that said, I present to you Katarina to begin to talk to you about why we chose Sojourner Truth.
begin with, let's talk about why we chose Sojourner Truth and her speech, Ain't I a Woman? When we first went out to look for a speaker, we wanted someone who was bold, unique, and above all, had a strong message. But we also wanted someone who was not necessarily old, but was old enough to have an outstanding position in history. That led us to only one person, Sojourner Truth. She was a black woman, born as a slave, who literally walked away to freedom, to become one of the first to fight for equality of all. As the Western Journal of Black Studies says, she proclaimed herself existentially as a self-determining agent responsible for the authenticity of her choices. She was a powerful speaker who was known to have a self-restraining and poised manner, which was very unique for people of the stereotype. She also defied the established beliefs of the time. In an article titled Sojourner Truth, A Woman Ahead of Her Time, states, she believed her life was in care of a higher power. She did not accept man-made limitations, and she never took no for an answer.
Sure didn't, honey.
That in itself makes her a role model. With that said, let's move on to the significance of the speech with Brittany.
The significance of Sojourner Truth's speech helped change people's minds about slavery and the women's movement. In Sojourner Truth's speech, it sought out social change through the use of peaceful methods. Like that of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth spoke as an electrifying preacher and used her words instead of actions to get her point across.
Oh, sorry,
According to the Western Journal of Black Studies, Volume 29, published in 2005, it was an act of courage. She had the courage to affirm herself and to step out into the unknown. She believed then, as always in her life, that she was in direct communication with God, and her needs would be met.
Hallelujah!
Her mission to testify to the hope that was within her. Truth also represents a time of segregation of both African Americans and women of all skin colors, and that people are not created equal. According to an article published in the Journal of International Women's Studies, authors Brash and Phoenix state truth enacts diffusion and delivery, both in terms of being members of a historical dysphoria, but equally in the sense of disarticulating and breaking of precautiously satisfaction and self-importance of certain feminisms. In the book Founding Sisters and the 19th Amendment, written by Eleanor Click in 2003, Sojourner Truth had a moral responsibility to speak out against the evils of slavery and promoted both black and white women to enter the public life together, as one, to reform the movement. To Truth, skin color didn't matter in the context of fighting slavery. Furthermore, let's move into our third main point, which is the use of communication concepts with Katarina.
So, what does Sojourner use in her speech that makes her so good? Well, this can actually be broken up into 4 different things. First of all, there's allusion, repetition, logos, and ethos. Sojourner alludes directly to God in Christ, first of all, because those beliefs were ground into the people of that time. It was part of who they were, and by speaking directly to this, she hits them right in their hearts. She also uses repetition, particularly of an ain't I a woman, in order to force people to not only remember her words, but also hammer them until they completely submit. Moving on to logos. Sojourner uses pretty much everyday logic, common sense, to point out things most people never really made a connection to. And it sticks because her ideas make more sense than theirs had originally. Also, ethos. Sojourner's credibility is solid. She's both black and a woman, which in truth in those days might have actually lowered her credibility. However, because she was speaking on that topic, it increased it. Plus, she had this sort of character and charisma, which just drew people in. They could not help but listen to her. Together with allusion, repetition, logos, and ethos, Sojourner is able to take complete command over her audience, with words that continue to echo through history. Above all, Sojourner Truth has been an inspiration to us, which we will now describe to you.